Hello! Today we are going to look at these brushes that I bought on an Amazon haul for $4.42, I think. They looked nice. They are made in China. They are not a long-handled brush. It says that they are for watercolor. So we are going to... I'm not really a watercolor artist, although I do play around in it, but we are going to go ahead and open these and see what they're like. Then we're going to use them and see how do they work, okay? This kind of a brush with a rounded edge is called a bright brush. It's a number 11 and it says it's an artist brush. So there is an 11, a 12. The higher the number, the bigger the brush. And they are all brights. And then there are 3, I would not call these script liners, but they are they're very small. But I wouldn't call them script liners because to me, script liners have bristles that are at least 2 or 3 times the length of these. But this is a 1, a 2, and a 3. So the sizes, again, they start small, the numbers, and as the number gets bigger, then the brush gets bigger. So we are going to look at how these work. They all do have some kind of a coating on them, like all brushes do, that makes them very stiff in the beginning. So that's probably a good sign, but you can see here, it holds them all together. So they do have this coating on them. So to me, that's a pretty good sign. A cheap brush they're not gonna bother doing that on a cheap brush. So let's try seeing how these work. I work in acrylic paint, so I'm gonna show that first, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, we are gonna start with the largest brush that we have here, and it's a number 12. Now, as an acrylic artist, I always tap my brush in the water, tap it off on the paper towel. I'm going to pick up some of this yellow paint right here. And I just want to put down a mark. Okay, so I'm going to flip the brush over. And I'm using very light pressure and then getting hard. But it doesn't get much wider when I do that. Now, if I use a regular brush that's not a bright, it would probably get a lot wider. Now, let's just look at this because I don't think you're going to get a great response here. But here comes the edge. Okay, so that's a pretty decent line, and I was able to keep it from splaying out and getting really fat. Set that aside. I'm going to get one of the medium size, which would be, let's try an 8. Tapping it off on the water, tapping it off on a paper towel. You, particularly in a new brush, you want to get that coating out of there. So let's work on some red. Yeah, I didn't start out with light pressure up there, but it just doesn't get much wider. So that's not a bad thing. Let's see about our little line. That's pretty good. I want to try one other thing here. I don't have any white on my palette, so I can't make these little short guys right in here. But I could pick up a little yellow. Let's see what happens. Can make some pretty nice little marks with that. It's hard to start out and get something flat without actually like turning the brush. I'm gonna mix a little yellow and red over here, get a little orange going on. Remember, red eats everything, so you're gonna need more yellow than red. So it's up on the point, and I'm gonna try to smash it down. Well, that worked okay. That worked all right. And up on that point, smashing it down. Yep, that's pretty good. Okay. So now I'm just gonna pull some yellow. Now, so that looks pretty good. I'm pinch wiping my brush. Now I'm rinsing my brush. Let's take an even smaller brush. Here's a 4. Tap it off in the water, tap it off on the paper towel, and let's pick up some blue. Let's do the same thing. Okay, so there's the blue. And then there's our little line. Now let's take some of this blue and mix a little yellow in there. You know what we're gonna get? Gonna get some green. So we're gonna come over here to our flower, and let me move this up so we don't run out of racing room on the stem. We're gonna put in a stem. The smaller the brush, the less paint it holds. So this is the kind of thing you have to reload a lot on. I'm just picking up paint here. Now let's see what we can do with a leaf. I pushed, turned, and picked it up. Okay, so now let's come back with, I'm gonna pinch wipe that out. I'm not rinsing it, I'm just pinch wiping it out. I'm gonna pick up some yellow, and out here on the edge of this green that I mixed up, I'm just gonna add a little of that yellow. I don't want solid yellow here. So we're gonna come in here and we're gonna touch and push and then pick it back up. And that gives your leaf some depth, some movement. Push, pick it back up. See that you got such a little bit of paint in a brush like this. Touch, push, pick it up, that it doesn't hold a lot of paint. And we're going to pick up these little ones here, a 1, a 2, and a 3. Now again, these are not script liners. Normally with a script liner, you're going to put the brush in the water and don't wipe it off, and you're going to pick up some paint. Now on a brush with bristles this small, you're going to end up with paint in the ferrule at some point fairly quickly, and that's not really a great thing. But let's see what we can do here. Okay, well that worked out pretty good. I'm not unhappy with what we got. It just doesn't hold much paint. So you just have to be aware of that. It does move really nice though. Maybe even better than a script liner, because a script liner is long and it sort of fights you sometimes. So this is not a bad brush for this. I don't like what I did right there, but that's not the brush's fault. It was an operator error there. Okay, let's look at one more thing. And I want to take, let me try the number 3 on that brush. to see what it does. Again, I tap in the water, but I didn't tap it off on the paper towel. I am over here on this paint adding a fair amount of water to it, which watercolor would have a fair amount of water in it. So let's see here. Okay, so here I'm just barely touching. And here I'm pushing. Okay, so I ran out of paint, but that's not unusual because these small brushes just don't hold much. But you can go from this skinny line to that with the same brush. So that's really good. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse that brush out. Let's take some red, some of the blue, and some of the yellow. This should give us a kind of a brown. Okay, so we're going to come in here in our center of our flower. Put that in. We can do that here too. I'm Sharon with Painting with Acrylics 101, and I am a working artist. And today we looked at those brushes that I got on the Amazon haul. They were $4.42, I want to say. Oftentimes cheap brushes are exactly that, cheap brushes. Now these are not long handles, they are short handled brushes. There were 12 brushes in the pack, so for $4.42, that seemed like I would give it a try and see what we can do with them. I don't normally use a bright brush like this, so I'm not as, articulate as I might be with some of the brushes I normally use, which are basically flats and sometimes rounds. But I do like these. I personally like a long-handled brush because I want to back up from my work and see what's going on there. And with a short-handled brush, you have more of a tendency to do this, or even you're not very far away from your painting, so you have to constantly back up to see what you have. When you're working on a painting, if you're too close, you really just can't tell what you have. You have to back up. A painting is meant to be viewed a minimum of 6 feet, and so if you're 10 inches away from it, you can't really tell what you have. So, but back to these brushes. For a beginning painter, I think these are a good buy. Now, are they always $4.42 on Amazon? I don't know. They were in the Amazon haul. I am not an Amazon affiliate, but I will try to put a link in the description if you want to look at them. You know, an Amazon haul, they don't stay at that price for long, or maybe they're trying to clear something out. So I don't really know, but it is kind of worth checking to see if they have some art supplies that, you know, you really could use. I don't normally buy my art supplies on Amazon, but I was playing around and I saw these brushes and I thought I'd give them a try. These, to me, are decent brushes. I haven't played with them in watercolor yet, but these are decent brushes, and for $4.42, I can practice a lot with brushes like this. Now, the one thing you need to know about brushes is you don't want the cheapest thing. Now, these really are the cheapest things. They were $4.42, so they are very cheap. But sometimes you're going to come across a sale or, you know, something like that, that you can check them out and find out, are they any count? So what did I lose if I didn't like them? Well, $4.42. That's what I lost. And is it worth it to find out that you actually get what you pay for? Yeah, it's worth that. And for children, for students, for true beginners, perfect. perfect. And so maybe as a fine artist who produces, you know, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 paintings and above, these might not be what you're looking for. But for somebody who is learning, these would be perfect for you. So anyway, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something today. And I am so grateful that you stopped by, that you clicked on this video, and I'd appreciate it. A thumbs up, a subscribe, a like, a comment. I'd love a comment. I'd love to know what you have found on buying cheap brushes, and if you've ever bought anything like this on Amazon. And just let me know how things have gone for you in that way. So thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day, and let's paint together real soon. If you like this video, I'm going to put another one all about color theory right up here for you next.